it is Parliament that approves the budget, and it's the responsibility of Parliament to oversee the work that is implemented by the executive. And in that, the structures that have been put in place for them to be able to do their work is that they have committees allocated. Different ministries report to different committees of Parliament. And accountability committees in Parliament are chaired by the opposition. Yeah. So they are chaired by the opposition. And even when they've made their report on the floor of Parliament, they give a time to the committee, to the executive, to come back and report back on the resolutions that have been passed. And if it has ever happened, it was happening in last term, beginning last term. And that has been happening. If they're not satisfied with the responses from the executive, then they have, it also stipulates how they can still bring out this. That's one. Two, Parliament, where the opposition also has leadership, we have the auditor, Office of the Auditor General, that audits the whole of Parliament. Why did I put it as an Office of Parliament? Is because they audit the work of the executive, the expenditure of the executive. Then the reports are taken to Parliament, and those reports are given to the different accountability committees to hold the executive accountable. They, as the opposition, committees which they chair, they've not. It is them to come and hold us accountable for as executive. It is so. You cannot sit here and talk like you are not part of the system. You have been, or you are still part of the system, and that is one part. The second part is that when we are getting loans, we still go back to Parliament, and we account for what has been done with the previous loan, especially in that sector, and what this money is going to do, with even time frames and what not. Even the conditions are part of that. It is the responsibility of the Parliament to really say if this is out of if this is not, this is what it shouldn't be, or they feel that should not be. But also, nevertheless, when you bring up the issue of the engineers who were suspended just recently, who brought out this? It was brought out by the Minister of Works himself. In the first cabinet, the president told him, come and explain to me what you have been telling me about corruption in the sector. And he explained. And before they came, the president had been meeting those engineers and the president. And after that, what happened is what you have explained. But how did this come? And that's why you see some of the things have changed. Like when we brought the issue of the issues of emerging these agencies back to what? To the ministries, rationalization. Some of the agencies had grown wings and they had become goddesses in their own style, or gods. You find an agency under a ministry, and they had forgotten that the minister is the supervisor and the PS is the technical supervisor, and they had become so many, and they were making mistakes without anybody checking. An agency would leave and got finance, and finance takes a decision even to fund them without consulting the minister or the PS. So rationalization also came up to solve such problems. Let me give an example. You see the road of the Busega Road, the Kampala Busega Road that they talk about. It started at around 580 billion. We were supposed now to compensate people along the way to expand that road. Then the technical people came up and said, no, when we take it to the, when we now work on the main road and expand, it will require us more 280 billion for us to compensate people. Then they said, no, let's now change. And they were doing this as technical people without even reporting to the head of the institution. I mean, the head of the sector, the head of the ministry. Then they said, let's divert and pass this side. And then the technical people went and bought land along that side where they were diverting the road. When they got there, they said, now, it seems this way is very expensive. Themselves, let's pass this side. When they took it on the side of now where there is even a swamp. They even went and bought land and put up a factory so that the road comes to pass in the factory, and then the factory owner was the one to decide how much should be compensated. So when the government valuer now tried to, did his work, rejected the value attached to the property by the government valuer. Wait, I'm going to wait. I'm explaining because it was government that discovered it. So now, what was supposed to be the 580 billion road came to 1.2 trillion. And I'm happy when I saw today in Parliament the Committee of Physical Infrastructure taking on the Ministry of Works on this. These are the things, these efforts to fight corruption is in all sides. It's not only that it has to be government side. Opposition has the responsibility, the public has the responsibility to fight. When Honorable Otto talks about going for chicken thieves because he's looking at local governments, remember most of the programs are implemented in local governments. It's in local governments where we domicile all of these projects.
Yeah, but Honorable Lumumba, I find it quite weird that engineers had the latitude to do all they were doing without the supervision, without the intelligence of the state, who lowered the guard in this case. And besides, you seem to be doing a lot of chest thumping that it's government that is waking up to this. Do you realize that for a while, civil society has been exposing all these flaws, and as a reward, you've been arresting and humiliating them?
I don't want you to think that I'm thirst-stamping. I'm giving information, and I think that's why you called me here, so that I can tell you where government has been able to, what government has been able to do, where we can say yes we did it, and even where we have shortcomings. I thought that is why I'm here. So if I'm explaining, I've explained one, but if you give me time, I can even explain more. So let me give you, so when Honorable Otto talks of going for local government is like going for chicken thieves, that's where the implementation of government programs are going on. All of that they were checking, what you have seen the Minister of Local Government doing and the Minister of State doing, is not only for projects that have been implemented by local government. Some of the projects have been implemented by central government. Yeah, they would come back and write a report. Look at which report they would have to decipher. This project we saw was good under your sector, ICT, as a minister. This one was not done well. You as a minister take it up. And also secondly, before these people move there, what you are calling intelligence, there is already information about those projects. Because now you don't, why does he pass others and go for others? It's because they have information that this project, this and this happened. This didn't go on well. This school, they are ghost children. This school, they are ghost teachers. This school, they are ghost this. So he's going, and that's why when they are moving, by the way, if you are not aware, they are moving with people from those, the State House Anti-Corruption. They are moving with some people from the IGG's office. They are moving people with people from CID. But some of the information they have, some of them they don't have. It is not, there is no need for more approval. When the president was taking oath on the 12th of May, taking oath, he gave 2 directives, clear, which everybody is supposed to take on. One was no sleep, Chisanja no sleep. So that means we must maximize time. And when you look at our National Development Plan 4, we have from 50 to 500 billion US dollars. It means that whatever we are doing, we have to multiply times 10, tenfold. So tenfold, not only in terms of resources, but in terms of time, in terms of innovation, in terms of bringing systems that are going to help us deliver to improve productivity, to improve production, but also to improve the quality, but to be able to compete at the global level.
Honorable Mwiru, when you listen to Honorable Lumumba, do you get a sense that now government is confronting corruption head on, or it's just another facade? There is a time around 2019 when we saw government officials marching in the middle of town, in the middle of the city, and there was a lot of mockery about it. Could this be a repeat of what government has done before.
Well, thank you.